So I want to let you know up front, I am not a web designer. I had to learn this just like you. And so what we are learning today together and what we're going over today is something that anybody can do. This is super easy. And what we're going to start with today is I'm actually going to show the USTA site down in Orlando, the national campus. Ashley and Kim, they did a rock star job. And so let me pop over and actually show you their portal because it's amazing. And we know that Ashley and Kim are amazing, but Ashley and Kim are not web designers, and they went in and they built this. So if you think about your Court Reserve platform, it can look just as great as this. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take you through that. So your logo would be here, your events, which are all your classes, clinics, camps, sign up, groups of things. Then you can start, book a court, make a reservation for your courts. Then you get to choose the different tabs and panels by which you have news or global announcements or a blog article or about our team or a health questionnaire, whatever it is your organization. We're going to go over that today. And then, of course, under my account, this, of course, is from the player side. So it's going to be all of those same things that we used to show under my profile. So my reservations, which are the things your players have already reserved, my events, things they've signed up for, or even want to be waitlisted for, my family, and a lot of these things are customized per your organization. Now, I do want to mention that there are two different settings now from an admin standpoint on the player portal side. We don't have the blue admin button anymore. Now we have a website settings and an admin panel. So if you are setting up your page for your players, you can just pop back to the website settings. If you are going back over to the settings bracket of Court Reserve, then that's with this admin. This used to be that blue button, but we've made it a little easier once you're setting things up. Now, I want to point out a couple things and that we're going to go over today. So this first row, so this is a page, and pages are made up of rows. And this is your header. So when we talk about headers, this at the top in white is the header. At the bottom is the footer. And so that makes a lot of sense, right? And then we have rows. So this right here, this first row is our hero row. Now, I don't know why it's called a hero row. I think it's a design term. But anyway, a hero row means you have pictures and text, and you can have call to action buttons. This right here, this blue button, is a call to action button. Now, I want you to notice, see the national campus, the blue here? Well, we've made it easy to where you can actually go in and figure out what your color is. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is the hero image. This is the next row. This is a content row. It's full of content, okay? Then their next row, this is another hero row, right? Because this is a picture with call to action buttons. And then, of course, our footer at the bottom. So again, this is what we're going to go over today, and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to kind of go through. So I'm going to stop the share and log into my account so that we can, and if you have some starter questions, you can go ahead and be typing those out and in the chat and the Q&A. And Tim's on, but he's muted today, so he's going to be watching that for me until we get going here. So hold on just a second. Let me pull this up. Okay. All right, so again, we're back on the settings page, and if what we're going to do first is go through some of the things that I think are really important. So of course, portal settings, website, this is where you're going to go to set up your new player portal or website portal. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start over here with the logo. Now, I think the logo is an important part, of course. So if you have a designer who's already designed you a logo, or if you don't, then you can actually, there are color pickers out there online. You can search for a color picker, I believe they're called, and I have one here. And what you can do now, of course, there's some ads here and stuff, and this is just one that I used, but I actually downloaded, see this Island Racket Club here? You can actually upload this. So I just clicked here, use your image, and I just uploaded this that I had created in a Canva image. And this is the color blue. And what you do is you actually click on it, and then it'll tell tell you the exact color. And this is the shade of the color, like that USTA blue that we mentioned earlier. So now I'm going to show you where you actually take this color. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to actually pop back over to Court Reserve here. You can see my screen, right, Tim? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're going to pop back over. And of course, you got your logo uploaded. Everybody knows how to do that. That did not change. But now when we go over to the General tab and we start talking about these colors, that's where that comes into play, those numbers. So your base background color, your base background is going to be just that base color of your entire page, okay? So if you look here, this is my player portal. And so my player portal, the base background is black here, okay? So this is just a black base background. And you can see here, this is my hero image with just this image here, and then you've got 3 call to action buttons. So let's pop back over and we'll change some of this so that you can understand where this is coming from. So if I come back over and go to General, I'm going to actually change my base background color to that blue image color that I just did. So if I click apply, oh, we've got that blue. So it instantly took the logo color that you had, and now this is our base background color. I've left the text as white. Now let's talk about the header. Remember, the header is at the top, and then you've got the footer at the bottom. So you can actually go in and change your header background color and then your header text color. So let me go in and change and make this save. And so remember, we've got the blue base background color here. If we pop over to the portal, you'll see in just a second. Now, your base background color are going to be some text here. We've got a button here. If we scroll down, some text here. Our social media images are here. So you'll see that base background color and text color a couple areas. And then I've left this header as black base and white text. Okay, so now we're going to come back over to our website settings. And if we go through General a couple more, you'll see the body background color is being white. Now I'm going to change this to some crazy color just so we can, I keep forgetting to hit the apply. Oh, maybe it doesn't want to be that color. And then we've got a page title. I want to change this one too because I think it's important for you to see. So our body background color is going to be this teal, and then our page title is going to be this red. So I'm going to save this. This is not going to look nearly as good as it was. Tim just told me it was going to look hideous, but we'll see. So now we've got, this is that blue. It doesn't look too bad, right? So we've got this blue color. And then if we actually go over to one of our pages, let's just do contact the team here, because this will be a page that's within. Then you'll actually see the page title. Oh, I chose a page that's not a good page. Let's go to the training blog here. We'll go to the training blog. Oh, I keep choosing the wrong page here. Let's do news. So we've got our title pages here. So every single time you think about setting up a page, it's going to dictate those colors. And so it's pretty self-explanatory, but I did want to kind of walk you through just that. And, you know, of course, if you have more questions around those pages or those title pages, we can go over that as well. So we're just going to keep going through. This is pretty easy. If you have a current website that you want to link, then put it here. Always it's HTTPS. You know, use that, the full page, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Now let's talk about the hours of operation. The hours of operation are going to show up in your footer, and you can also display, if you don't want them to display, you can uncheck it. If you want them to display, your hours of operation are going to be those under your system user hours or hours of operation. If you would like to use a different hours of operation, such as one of your custom schedulers, because you may actually be open, but your players may not be able to reserve courts, and you want them to just be able to see the court time or the times that they can reserve the courts, you know, 10 to 2 or something like that. You can always use one of your custom schedulers. So that's what these are here. You can also, if you wanted to do something almost like a cheater of a custom scheduler, make a custom scheduler with the hours, but don't attach any, you know, courts to it or any reservations, and just use it as a custom scheduler for showing hours. You can actually attach that here as well. So you would need to make up your custom scheduler, don't assign any courts or reservation types, and then use the hours.
Yeah, I'll add something here. We are going to make this a little bit, that's a great workaround Ashley is suggesting, but in the future, obviously this is phase one and we're going to continue to enhance and modify and make this even better. We're going to give you the explicit hours that you can put in, just like you would go to a custom scheduler and you have the hours at the bottom. We're going to give you that ability to do that so you can make it be exactly what you want it without picking any custom scheduler.
Okay. All right, moving on down, fonts, pretty easy. You pick the font you want to use throughout the text font. And then footer option, your announcements, those are global announcements. Global announcements really didn't change, but you can opt to show them in the header or actually hide those. I actually hide those. And the reason I do that is because when you go and you want a global announcement to populate, just check the box, show on welcome page. And then it's going to populate on that first page on your player portal like it always did. And then you can attach those dates to it where it'll fall off as well. And so I don't actually put the announcements in the header. I hide that, and then I just attach show and welcome page. If you don't know where that is, I can show you later. Another thing is the announcements view anyways. Oh, we just talked about that. Okay, so let's go on to the next page. So this is really, again, just a way to create rows, and then you attach rows to different pages. So again, what we need to do first is go in and create your hero rows. So let's go in and actually talk about who's going to see your rows, because a lot of people have said, oh, well, we used to have our player portal for those players who were logged in, but then we also had the anonymous or that sales and marketing page for those potential players, for those people who want to sign up and be a member of my club or organization. And we can still do that, but we've kind of put it together here in one. So we have created a lot of different rows, and the display type you'll see here, logged in users, those are your current players, your current members at your organization. All would be both logged in and your anonymous, or those who are not in your Court Reserve platform. And then anonymous would be those who are potential players, just like your sales and marketing page. So the first thing that you want to create is your hero row. So let me just, I'll just edit this one. I just kind of want to go through what that looks like. This is simple. So the title is really for you so that you can keep up with what this is, okay? And then of course, remember the hero is the one with the image and those call to action buttons. A content row is just content, okay? Now, these buttons are those call to action buttons. They can be anything. You can link to the Dairy Queen. You can link to a custom scheduler. If you want to do pickleball, tennis, gym, you can use the URLs because you're just attaching those custom scheduler pages into each button. You can have 3, or you don't have to use any, 1 or 2. Again, you can use multiple things here. And then the button styles, this is easy. Contain means that it's contained with this color. So if we actually go in and change this color to this button color here and apply, you'll see our button changes here, but our text is black, okay? Contain means it's contained with the color, and then outline means it's outlined with the color. Up to you completely. Now, you cannot copy and paste images here. You must upload them in order for this to populate and work correctly. So this little button right here, simple. You just upload an image from your computer. And I don't know if I actually have her again, so I'm not sure I want to. Oh, we'll just do this one. We'll just see what happens. All right. So what I want to show you though is when it uploads, it actually, you have a little box here that moves up and down. And so you'll see this box right here. See, it moves up and down. You need to place this over the part of the image that you actually want to populate, because this is the only part of the image that will populate on your page. So what you'll need to do now, we've kind of placed it here. We're going to hit the blue confirm button, and then that's the population of that page or that image. Now, header and subheader. Header just means that, you know, maybe you want to put your club name, or, you know, glad you're here today, or have fun on the courts, or whatever. So I'll go ahead and, let's see, stay on the a subheader is just text under. Thanks for being a member. Now, the divider is just a tab divider, and I'll show you what this looks like. So if we actually save changes here and we pop back over to our player portal. So give it just a minute to save. We need the little Jeopardy here. Music. So now if we actually go over to our player portal, then you'll see here's our image. Here's our text, our text that we put. Here's the little divider line, and here's our subtext right here. Now, you don't have to do any of this, right? But again, you know, we're trying to make it to where a lot of the organizations, they were going out and having to, you know, pay for their an additional website. And we're trying to make Court Reserve where they don't necessarily have to do that. We want this to be complementary to what you guys are doing.
You go back there for 1 second. I would make a suggestion. You know, our call to action buttons were really meant to drive people to the right areas. So just be cognitive of that when you are creating your pages for your members and pages for your anonymous or prospects, and really drive your prospects to maybe join now, or a button that's really going to tell them what the next step should be if they're visiting your website. Now, that may be different if you're on the members. This is a perfect opportunity to say register here, book a court, to make it very in their face. That's what a CTA or AKA call to action is for, is to direct people the way they should go. So I just thought I'd throw that in there for a tip.
Awesome. Okay, so again, the next thing that we want to do is anytime you create a row, so here's our homepage, you actually have to add it to that row. So we've gone in and we've created that. And so now you would just click the green button, add it to the homepage, etc. We do have this handy little preview button here, so you can actually pop over and see what you've created without having to go back and forth from the player portal or not. Now, let's talk about, you know, making sure. So some of you don't allow people to sign up on an anonymous page, and that's fine. So you may just have a home page with a hero row and then a content row. So let's go down and look at our content row that we've created for logged in users. Again, I just named this one personal training. It's a content row. It's only for logged in users. And again, you can choose whether to use the body background color. So if we actually go over and change this, then it would just use that body background color that you set on the general settings tab. And so we're just going to stick with what I've already done. I've chosen the background color here. And then just this is a text box. Now you can use our table wizard here. You can use and upload an image here if you like, or put in a hyperlink. So it's still true Court Reserve the way we've done it. And so if we go back over to the player portal, I just want to point out what this row looks like, because you can go in and create these rows based on your organization. So if we slow down here, you'll see this is our row. This right here, this text right here. So again, this is how you break things up. So we've got the hero row, we've got our news row, we've kind of put it here. Then we've got a content row, and then this is that global announcement that I populated on my welcome page here. So I want to go over and show you this news row. How did that get between the hero row and the content row? So let me pop back over. So we're back to our home page, and you'll see the arrows here. So we are actually sorting. Now you'll say, wow, well, you got some anonymous here and then some logged in, and that's fine, because what we're doing is we're just actually sorting all of the rows for logged in and then sorting the rows for anonymous. So if you want to put them together, you can, or if you want to do it like I did it, I just kind of shoved them in there. But you'll see here, this is our hero row for logged in. And then the next row would be our news category. And then we've got that content for personal training. And then we've got our announcements row. Now, if you wanted to move some stuff around, it's a drag and drop. And another thing is, if you want to delete a row from this page, you just simply have to click delete. It doesn't delete the information. It's just deleting it from this page right here because we're on the home page right here. Okay. Another place that you can keep up with all of your rows, because you can see I was playing a lot with it and have a lot of rows, is here we have a row tab. And so again, you can come in and create lots of different rows, you know, summer camp rows here. And then you've got, you know, fall tournaments coming up. And then you've got winter margarita mixers or whatever you get to do in the winter at your organization. Again, we've allowed you to keep several here because then you can go back and you can, you know, easily edit them and easily use them again and keep your player portal creative and inviting for your players and up to date as well. Okay, let's talk about Page Builder. So Page Builder are those pages that we are building, right? And then we can create content. So we've got our training team, our blog. And so this is pretty simple as well. You'll go in and create the green page button and call it a name necessarily. And, you know, what I want you to think about is, you know, what do you want on these pages? Because what you're going to do is you're going to copy these URLs right here. So you'll copy that URL and then you'll decide whether you want to make it a page link at the top on a header link or whether you want to put it downstairs on your footer link as well. So if we click on header or footer, you'll see that a couple of the pages we've made our header links. And then I think we have one here on the footer link as well. So we've got summer camp sign up. You know, it still follows the same thing. You're basically just creating things and then you'll take this, you know, URL and then you'll go and you'll take that URL. And so if I click here, you'll see that when you actually, you know, link display, let's see, call it the blog, and then this would be that URL. And then you get to decide, well, who sees that? All your folks, anonymous folks, are logged in folks as well. Sure. You can also create sublinks. So sublinks are going to be the drop downs. So if I come over here, let me just show you here. So right here, if you see the plus here, we've created a sublink under the training team called Join the Team. And then under the blog, we've created a couple: training blog, nutrition blog, and club news. Now, again, this is just clicking and then using that URL and creating. So let's just look at this one. This is the blog. This is the page and we're gonna go over and see what this looks like, but we should have training blog, nutrition blog, and club news. Well, actually, let's see. Yes, all three here. So if we jump over to the player portal and we actually click on blog, there's our three sub: training, nutrition, and club. Now, again, you may not need all this, or this might be the beginning of something you didn't even realize you could do, but now that you can in Court Reserve as well. So let's go back over to website settings. Again, footer links works the same way as header. And then let's just mention navigation. Navigation really hasn't changed. And some of you may not have even known that navigation existed in Court Reserve. So let's go over this really quick. So these, of course, are all of your memberships, and you get to choose what your players get to see. So if you are just a reservation for courts or spaces, you may not have any events. You can actually cut off the event list. Events calendar would be the events that show up on the calendar side. You can actually hide my events, which means those are the things that your players have signed up for: classes, clinics, camps. Wait list is the wait list, pretty self-explanatory. Event alerts, that's something your players can actually sign up for. So when you display a new event in a category they want to be alerted to, they can actually sign up for those. The family members link, this means that your families can actually go in and add new family members to their account. A lot of clubs turn that off. That might be something you might want to take off. So by checking the box, you're actually cutting off that access. Membership means they can go in and maybe choose another membership, cancel their membership on their own. A lot of clubs turn this off. And if transactions are if you do payments within Court Reserve, or you keep up with billing, or if you don't, then you can go in and turn payment profiles and transactions off here. Now, another thing just to mention, the book a court, this is what you're naming that tab where they can make a reservation or book a court. If you just have tennis, you could say book a tennis court, etc. So this is where this navigation lives as well.
So I do want to mention that some people, stay right here, Ashley.
Okay.
We are going to be upgrading this in our next phase of this release. We're going to talk a little bit about what's coming in addition to what you're seeing today. But one of the major things we keep getting asked is, hey, I want to make book a court the first option in my menu, or I want to change the word events to programs. That's really popular, for a USTA site or maybe for any tennis club. So we're going to actually give you that ability. Not just to be able to sort your custom header links, but all links, including the ones we generate for you, and not only be able to maneuver those around, but actually rename those tabs. So just look for that in a future iteration of this new member portal. Now, one thing that I do want to mention too, Ashley, if you go back to header links, and I'm so sorry if I'm stepping on your toes, but I just want to make sure this is one of the key things that I love about this feature. Was you going to talk about the privacy around the header links?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So one of the things that you may have is a lot of you guys are tennis clubs with a board of directors, right? Or what if you had the ability for that board of director group to show that link? Well, you can do that. So if Ashley was to go and click edit on one of these links here, and she chooses a logged in only, now you can specify a specific member group that link will show up for. So if that person is in that group and they log on to the portal, then they and only them would see that link. So this is a great opportunity for you to put a BOD link and then put your board of director minutes or anything that you want for that specific group. That's just one example, but you could see the power in that. So I just wanted to make sure you mentioned that.
That's a great point. I had forgotten all about that. So again, you'd need to go in and create your member groups, and then you could attach it to that page or that header link. So we've kind of gone through all of the tabs, and I do see some questions, and I know, like I said, I had to learn this just like you did. And so we're learning together. So let me go in and we'll kind of go over some questions. Okay. And Tim, you can chime in here.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Let me, I just want to make sure. Yeah, I just want to make sure I can read them good. So some people are asking about best practices for importing, or let me give everybody a tip here. So many people have a Word document and they copy from that Word document and paste into what we call an HTML editor. They're all over there. That does not work well. So what happens is behind the scenes, Word's generating all of this extra HTML code, and it's pasting that into the Court Reserve editor, and it causes a lot of headache. So the quick way to get around that is to get the raw text into Notepad. So you can paste into Notepad and then paste into the editor, or you could go out and Google HTML, clean HTML from Word or something like that. There's tons of tools out there that will strip all of those extra characters off for you to make it easy for you when you paste that into the editor. So just keep that in mind. There's also been some questions asked about deleting the pic or the image in a hero. Well, we can't do that in Court Reserve because part of having a hero row, one of the main marketing rules around a hero row is the hero image. If you simply want a row without an image, then just create a content row instead. Mm-hmm. So on these rows, when you go to create new, I just want to make sure when she clicks this create row button, when you go to type, just choose content. That will just be a plain row with whatever text that you want, and it's out without the hero or the call to action button. So that's simply just a content area of text, and that's how you would create any row without an image.
The new portal is already live. And so right now, if you have gone in and done nothing, then what you have populated on your, say, old Court Reserve player portal is still going to populate. But if you want to go in and kind of spruce it up and use some of these new features, you can definitely do that now, Lyle.
Yeah, the question was, when will the new portal be live for members?
Yeah, sorry.
And the answer is it is live. Is live. But to a lot of you guys, it may not look any different because you haven't done any customization to it.
Right. All right, so Fiona asked, any thoughts about hosting mailboxes for emails?
Yeah, so basically, so that's an interesting question. we are going to be building a document repository. I know I may not be directly answering your question, but we probably won't do direct hosting of emails. We're just going to keep our emails. We still send them off our server on behalf of you, and we'll probably keep that approach. But your question did lend me to tell you about a repository of storage. So right now, you can't upload a PDF or upload your Word. You actually host that on like a Google Drive or a Dropbox and then link to that. But very soon, you're going to be able to link anything as far as documents in the Court Reserve platform and not have to host those on a third-party site.
Nice. And then Drew had a question. How would a player find our Court Reserve website on a Google search if we didn't have a website, assuming we did not have another website?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question,
Good
Drew.
question.
So what you need to do is a little bit technical for now. So for now, what you would need to do is what they call a 301 redirect from your domain hosting provider. So if you're using GoDaddy or register.com, all you guys have registered a domain somewhere. And what you can do is you can forward your domain to the Court Reserve portal URL. So the only downfall to that is once somebody types in www.someclub.com and it forwards, the URL will change. Mm-hmm. However, it is on our radar to do what we call, we're giving you the ability to allow us to host your domain name for you, so you can point your domain and then everything can point to you, and the URL will not change. So I gave you the quick workaround right now, but just know that in a future change, we'll be adding that functionality. That's probably going to be an add-on. So just letting you know, would probably be an upgraded add-on to do that, but it is something we plan to do.
Okay. So right now, while people are thinking of their last questions around this portal website, I thought Tim could kind of, when you show up for a webinar like this, you get to hear all of the cool new things coming out from Court Reserve. So while we're waiting on any final questions about today's topic, Tim, do you want to give us an update on what's coming out in the next couple of weeks?
Yes, I will. So the newest, or the one that's coming out probably within the next 7 to 10 days is Book a Pro. So Book a Pro has been highly requested. It's basically the ability to create a custom instructor scheduler and make that public, and even go through an approval process if you like. And it'll allow your instructors to set their availability, set the max number of lessons they want to give per day, all kinds of great stuff. And the key is, for those that are on the call today, we are in beta with that. So if you would like to help beta test that and be an early adopter, please raise your hand, send a note in to support. Mm-hmm. Is that okay if I do that?
Yeah, please. They're raising their hand.
It's like raise your hand.
Wait. Yeah. All right, so this is what you need to do. Go out when we're done with the call today, go out to Court Reserve, the live chat, and just say, hey, Tim and Ashley said to let you guys know that I wanted to beta test Book a Pro. And that way we can get it out to you as soon as possible, because I can't keep up with it here.
Yeah, we have a tag internally that we're tagging the future beta clients. And so we're going to be doing more of this as we grow. We want to start getting people to test some of the things we roll out to make sure we get feedback and handle any type of kinks that we may have in it, and to just make sure that when we release it for the masses, it's a much better offering. So so get excited about that. And the other big summer thing that we have coming is our revamped waivers, electronic membership agreements, liabilities, and disclosure project. So what that's going to entail is you're going to be able to upload PDFs, upload your membership agreements, and then you're going to be able to set re-agreement rules and all that stuff. And when they log in, we're going to track, and people are going to be able to electronically sign these agreements with their finger or their mouse. We're going to take an image capture of that. So from a legality standpoint, you're covered. So think the current disclosures much, much, much better. And so I will preface that this is going to be an add-on. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a small add-on because a lot of clubs won't need this extra waiver and go green functionality at their club. but it is something to get excited about.
And yes, disclosures, a lot of people require you to sign off when you have a membership in an organization, that you promise not to sue them and you promise to clean up after whatever that looks like for your organization. So yes, but you can use this for any kind of disclosure or waiver. Maybe if you're going to run a special event at your organization. So looks like so we had a question from Lyle. Does the new portal show on all formats, laptop, iPad, iPhone? Yes, this is a great question.
Yes, let me answer this one. So one of the main reasons that we did this, Lyle, was to drive what you're asking and to make a better user experience when you're on a mobile device. So the website, the new portal, is fully responsive. So when somebody goes to your court reserve portal on a phone or a tablet, it's automatically going to re-render based on the device they're on and be responsive all the way down your rows. That's the whole reason that we did this the way we did it. And now you get the slide out menu and everything still works, from the filters and everything. And the other thing that we did was we really enhanced this event list. Did you talk about
we
this?
didn't. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So your event list now, your players, if you have events, they can actually come in and just search and filter by a category or a date or a day of the week. They can even do it by a price range. So if you have maybe just let's go in here and check out maybe just some junior clinics. I just want to see junior clinics for my kids. Well, they can come in now and see 3 events are found. So they can filter all the way down.
And as you can see here, what we've done is not only give you this filtering functionality, but we've really improved the user interface. So now in the user interface, it's much more modern. It's taking on your colors. So you can see here that, Ashley just changed pages, but she's going in here. There's this is going to take on your whole brand and look and feel, and this is totally responsive. So if somebody was actually using the mobile browser instead of the app, then they're going to have a very good user experience. Well, before, it wasn't quite as polished as the app, nor did it align with what they were able to do on a desktop. So now the user experience is much more consistent across the two.
Yep, that's a great point. All right, we've got some more questions coming in. When should the app be used versus the player portal?
Okay, so that's sort of speaking to what we're going to. I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag here. Okay. So
secrets.
Yeah. So you guys are getting the information. We are actually going to still have an app. Okay. But we have gotten such good feedback, and our desire was to basically replace the functionality of the member side of the app with what you're seeing here. And the main reason is not just to give them a better user and more consistent user experience across desktop, mobile, tablet, but to also be able to allow you to brand the mobile app with your logos, with your colors, with your news, with anything that you want to present here in the web portal. We want to be able to give you that on the mobile side. So you will still direct people to the mobile app. When we're done with this, it's basically we're moving to what they call a progressive web app. And what that also allows us to do as a company is be able to get out of this weird versioning issues across phones, having one member that's on one version, updates. We can have one code base, and we can deliver things to you guys much faster and much easier when we go this route. So I hope that answers your question.
Yep, good question. So any other questions before we let you guys go? I think we've given you some updates as far as what's coming in the future. Again, the reason that all of this changes and gets better is because people like you come to us and say, hey, what about this? What about that? We did have a question, Tim, before you leave, around the timeline for tournament and league feature additions, because Scott would be happy to beta test.
Yes, so we still have that on our roadmap for 2021, but it's going to, I'm just going to be transparent, honest. I'm hoping it gets done, but we just got some things like being able to sell packages. We got text, SMS alerts, and app notifications coming. We got the ability to do event guest and have people create court reservations and sign up for events without having to create a court reserve account. That's on our radar. The ability to do monthly add-on pricing, such as locker rentals and things that you want to put on top of your membership fees. So those are just a couple of examples that have made, those features have made their way above some of the league and tournament and ladder functionality, because as we grow as a company, we're hearing these things that the platform that clubs need, that we need to get into our platform before the end of the year. So that's sort of where our roadmap is. We're going to make our sort of an announcement in the next couple weeks, maybe month, to tell you sort of what the end of the year, the rest of the year looks like in terms of our big project. So just stay tuned for that.
Yep. And it looks like maybe we got one more question. Oh, Ashley said that she'd be happy to be a beta tester for pre-filtering events.
Did we mention that?
You did, yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, well, I don't know if I did or not. So if I didn't mention, the biggest thing that we got coming as the first enhancement to this member portal is the ability, we're going to give you the ability to pre-filter your event list from the admin side and then be able to link to those filters. So let's say you have a group of adult clinics or even junior clinics that you want to link to from either Header or Facebook. You're going to be able to pre-filter this list. We'll give you a URL that you can publicly share and people can come, and it will pre-filter the list and the sort order for you. So that was one of the big things, as Ashley from the USTA mentioned. That was their big ask, and we'd already thought of it. So that's actually something that's coming this week. So we hope our development team is on it, and we hope to get that in your hands by the end of the week.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome. All right. So thank you guys. We will be, Court Reserve's going to be at the Southern USPTA conference in Nashville this week. So if any of your pros are going, please tell them to come say hello. We're also going to be at the USPTA World Conference in September in Las Vegas. And so again, we'd love to meet your pros and your coaches and you guys. And we're trying to get back into the travel mode. I believe Tim's going to be making his way to Austin, Texas in September. And so if you're near Austin, please let us know so we can stop by and see you. And thank you again for all the great ideas, because again, the reason Court Reserve is the way it is and the ideas are from people just like you. So know that if you want help customizing your website portal, please go out to live chat support. We're happy to help you. We want to teach you how to set it up so that way you can go in and you can make changes and make it better. And again, thank you so much for joining us today and supporting us and just giving us great ideas to continue to be a great partner for you guys. So we'll put this up on YouTube this week and we'll talk to you later. Take care.